Good afternoon, it's Stephen Devlin here with my wonderful clients, Dr. Ron Paskowich and Dr. Jody Cox. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome.
We're in your clinic at New Hope Chiropractic in Gibsons, BC. And I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about the bank on yourself concept and what attracted you to the concept.
Yeah.
We're now 5 years in of working together on this with your financial plan. Mm-hmm. So tell me quickly, how were you before you met me and what led you to this concept?
Well, I think before we didn't have a real plan. I mean, we were trying to follow old models and advice like RSPs and, Canada Pension and stock market and all that stuff. And you know what, to us in our heart, it didn't really make sense. And it was, I didn't see really great examples of people doing well. So when you were coming to me on the bank on yourself and reading about that, it just totally made sense. Like it made sense that it's not the risk, and we can make plans not for only for ourselves, but for our kids and for our business. So it was the package. It was exactly what we were looking for.
And I think, as I recall, you were talking to me about the leases you were doing for equipment and how it was driving you nuts to be paying all this interest to someone else.
Yeah.
And the attraction was actually to self-finance. That was obviously of interest too, right?
Yeah, and one great example was we took a car loan, and with our whole life policy, we just transferred it right over, and we've been paying ourselves and leasing the car from ourselves, and anything from doing a kitchen reno to taking a trip to Hawaii was all within our own plans. So we were just paying ourselves for all of these things, going through life.
Yeah.
And what I think was awesome too is that we set up for our kids, both 4 and 6, they started a policy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then by setting that plan rather than RESPs and other things that, we had one that didn't have much success at all over the past years.
Well, we didn't really know what we were doing.
No, for the
Yes.
RESPs.
I mean, we had I don't even think we had a vision for what to do with our kids, how to lay that out properly.
Well, I did, but the RESPs were going nowhere, during the stocks and the funds, the mutual funds. And then this had, when Stevie showed us the plan of what they're going to have when they go to school and university, how much is going to be in their cash value, how much they're going to have, and also getting their first home, like putting down the mortgage, the first payment. And they can go take this policy over, and it really gives them that advantage. We don't have to think about that or worry about where that money's going to come from.
Well said. And I think what attracted you as well was the holistic approach.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual aspect of this as well.
Yeah, I think really ultimately you gave me some structure. I personally, I had no idea about finances or budget or what that would look like or why. And as a mom, I think he just sort of brought the why back into our household, gave me some vision and certainly structure. And so now I have an idea of some goals. So I think that was priceless.
Awesome. Now, as successful chiropractors, how has this benefited your practice, you think?
Well,
Peace of mind, first of all.
Totally peace of mind. And what's great is that, starting the corporate policy that, things change. We always have to lease equipment and we want to expand. And rather than constantly going to the bank and then, them taking the interest and always going through that whole process, we're getting into the place where, we're going to be fully funded and we'll be able to, just borrow from ourselves.
Yeah,
through
there's
our
so
plans.
much more freedom.
Yeah, and pay
Yeah,
for it,
well
pay
said.
ourselves, and it just gives that independence that we move away from that dependency of the banks, and we really take care of our own, resources, our own money. So it's just been awesome. I think it's great. 5 years in, it's fantastic, and all I can say is, for anybody thinking about this, just to talk to Steve about it. The books he gives, you go back and you can read for yourself. And if it hits your heart and it makes sense to you, because it does totally make sense, take that next step.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Okay.
Awesome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, see ya. Hi to Ottawa.
Thank you.
How's the weather?